Parshat Vayechi begins with the pasuk of Yaakov lived in the land of Egypt 17 years, and the days of Yaakov, the years of his life, were 147 years. Then the pasuk describes how the time approached for Yaakov Avinu to die, and he called for his son Yosef and spoke to him before his death, and the continuation of the parsha, which are the final words of Yaakov Avinu before his death to his children and grandchildren. This first pasuk, and we know the opening pasuk is really the theme of the parsha. The first pasuk begs tremendous amount of questions. First of all, it's totally unnecessary. Second of all, generally, we know the amount of years a person lived right before they died, not many psukim before they died. Usually they die, and this is how long they lived. And further, we know from last week's parsha, when Yaakov Avinu met Paro, he said he's 130 years old. So if this parsha would tell us that he's now 147 when he dies, we ourselves can deduce that he lived in Egypt for 17 years. We don't need the parsha to tell us that he lived in Mitzrayim 17 years. That's something we could figure out ourselves. If those are the overall questions, the specific questions is the first pasuk. Vayechi Yaakov, and Yaakov lived. That's a very interesting phrase. Vayechi Yaakov, and Yaakov lived, when really, ultimately, this is the time when we're speaking about A, his death. But B, it should say, like normally, Vayagar Yaakov Beretz Yisrael, Vayeshev Yaakov Beretz Yisrael. He lived. What do you mean he lived? Obviously, if he's there, he's living, he's breathing, it's understood. The word Vayechi usually doesn't describe somebody's life. It's usually he sojourned, he settled, not he lived. What is this concept of Vayechi Yaakov? And further, the second part of the pasuk, it splits up the days of Yaakov and the years of his life. And when it speaks about the days of Yaakov, it says Vayehi Yemei Yaakov in the singular. It should be, Yemei is plural, Vayehiyu Yemei Yaakov, and they were the days of Yaakov. Why do we describe the days of Yaakov as Vayehi, singular and not plural? And further, why do we need, as we mentioned, the days in the year split into two different parts? And if we go back to the overall question, what do we need this whole pasuk for? What is this pasuk teaching us? What direction, what directive does it give for our lives? And finally, we know that Rashi notes, and this is found in source number 44, second line, Sheparsha zu stuma, that this parsha is followed right after the previous parsha without the normal break between the two parshios, because that Yaakov Avinu wanted to be Megala the case. He wanted to reveal the end, and this was closed off from him. And again, we need to understand, what is this idea of trying to reveal the end and it being closed off, and therefore it's a parsha stuma, a closed parsha, no open space, to this pasuk of Vayechi Yaakov. So again, my friend, what we will see here today is another indication of how what seems to be simple information. Yaakov Avinu lived 17 years in Mitzrayim, and altogether he lived 147 years, and he's about to die, is not simple information, but this pasuk is one of the most fundamental psukim in terms of our avodas Hashem, and what life is all about, and what living life is all about. And again, that's another indication of the excitement that we need to have, and the mindset in learning Torah, that every pasuk is here to teach us the deepest of the deeps, and our job is to uncover, and with the help of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, we will be successful. Let's start with the end of the pasuk. What does it mean, Vayehi Yemei Yaakov? Why the singular if Yemei is plural? So Rav Gifter in source number 2 teaches us, although Yemei, the years of a tzaddik's life, are indeed plural many, in purpose they are all singular. The tzaddik lives for one ideal, to sanctify Hashem in this world. All the years of his life are thus really one. Vayehi Yemei Yaakov, Vayehi, singular. He had one mission in this life, and that was Kirvas Elokim, coming close to Hashem. And with this in mind, explains Tam V'dat Rav Sternbach in source 3, that's why it separates the Yamim with the Shanim, the days and the years. Because by Tzadikim, their Shnoteim are Tamimos. that all the days of their life that they're involved in Torah and Avodas Hashem, their days are meaningful. It's not only about years, that they've accomplished something in the larger spectrum, but have wasted time till you got there. No, the Yomim, the days, the Shnoteim, like by Avraham Avinu and Sarah Imeinu, our Tamimim, our whole, each and every day was filled with Avodas Hashem, which is what Rav Wolfson speaks about in source number 4, in Wellsprings of Faith. That's really our challenge, each and every day. He describes so beautifully in the asterisks in 4, that according to the Zohar, on every day a person's life, a new day comes down to him from heaven. And that day is like a blank sheet of parchment. And whatever a person does is inscribed upon that day. Then, as the day ends, it goes back up to Shamayim, and a new day comes down. It's like a canvas for us to paint whatever we want. And obviously, since we have each day as an entity on its own right, we have